and get started. I want to honor your time, and I know we have some important sporting events also going on tonight. So I'm going to do my best to be out here by 6:45. There are some important things we're going to cover tonight, and I am super excited for this time of year because I get to meet with my seniors. I'm Jennifer Calabrese, Director of the School Counseling Department, and this is my third year at Lexington High School. The fall brings us pumpkin spice and all those wonderful things, and seniors. So it is a fantastic time of year where I get to explore all those amazing things you and your students are planning for your future. And so we're going to cover some important tips tonight, all things college, career, and military. It's very hard to get all of us on one slide, but this is our counselors. We divide up by alphabet. So as you can see, we have Miss Gates. She has the beginning of the alphabet A through the US. Miss Stallings has VUT through EL. Mr. Russell has the EM through HES part of the alphabet. And then down on the second row, Michelle has HET through LIN. In the middle, Miss Alada has LIS through OL. Miss Brinson, OR through SHA. And Miss Stanton might look familiar to you because she actually subbed for us last year at this time, when one of our counselors was on maternity leave. And she has the same caseload, SHE through WAN. And I have the end of the alphabet, I have WAR through Z. So we are dividing up by alphabet for all of our seniors. We have two amazing career specialists. I want to just say what an amazing job they do. Last year, they gave, let's say, something different internships for our students, those amazing experiences that they would not have otherwise had out in the world of work. Even some juniors, so maybe you are one of the 8 juniors out there that got to experience that as well. So some really neat things that we get to do with our career specialists. We also have a lot of people that help our office run better. So that would be our support staff. We have a counseling or main desk secretary. We have our counseling secretary. We are in the process of hiring, so to be determined. Our graduation coach, she's going to help everybody get to the finish line. And then our 2 career specialists. So we have an amazing group. It's 14 of us. You can believe it. A very large department for 2,500 plus students. All right, in your folder, I want to go through some of the contents you have. The first thing being that you have the blue sheet, which has the different people listed on the front. It has our contact information, including our email, I guess you want to say the prefix, and then you would add it at lexington1.net. If you turn that over, we have our roles and responsibilities on the other side. If you are looking for information about, let's say, boys state or girls state, then you're going to contact a certain counselor listed right here under their roles and responsibilities. Do we have anybody who was involved in girls state or boys state last year by any chance? All right. The paint sheet, parchment.com. We're going to talk a little bit more about this. This is how you're going to be requesting your transcripts. Those all important things that are going to get you to the next stage of life, your transcripts. It is free. I want to make sure you know that until you graduate. And then we'll have a flat fee of $15, but if you order 100 of them, it's still get $15. The green sheet is very important because it's going to have a nice timeline on the back for you, just to kind of keep you on track. Okay, and on the front, some tips. So you will see applying to colleges, and kind of getting you through that all important senior year. It's a good calendar to keep on the fridge, maybe. The white sheet has the different South Carolina lottery scholarships, and we'll talk a little bit about those. And then you have this year's SAT and ACT dates. And then the stars are when they're being offered at Lexington High School. All right, one thing that's missing from your folder is your transcripts, right? In years past, if you had been to a senior night, you would know that we print them off and we have them in your packet. But that was when we had our senior night in the, let's say, mid-September area, when we had the chance to get that done. But feedback from parents was that senior night was a little bit too late. It wasn't giving us the information we needed ahead of time to start working on those applications. And so we pushed it up, but that also means you don't get a chance to look at your transcript right now, but you certainly will. About mid-September when we get all those seniors in, because we have new seniors enrolling, we've got to get them into rank, and sometimes we have to order course codes in order to get their transcripts correct. So all of that is going on behind the scenes so that you get a lovely, wonderful, beautiful transcript that you can then send out the door. Some things to know. We want to talk to you about your plan. Your transcript should reflect where you're headed. So I can tell by looking at it if your plan is more of a 2-year track or a 4-year track. Because for 4-year, you're going to have certain things you have to have, like a fine art, or languages, all right, things in that area. If you're headed to a 2-year, you need 4 math, but it doesn't have to have algebra 2. Those are the kinds of things when we sit down and look at your transcript, we're going to be discussing with you. All right, it's going to have an all-important GPA and rank. The circled one is the one we use 99% of the time, which is your weighted GPA. So that means that you're going to have honors classes that weigh more than a college prep level class, or AP courses that weigh more than an honors level course. Okay, so that is your weighted GPA score. The only time I have seen the unweighted version, usually a teacher cadet, they ask for an unweighted version. And then the other time might be the Columbia Urban League. They go by an unweighted GPA. And that's always a question that pops up every year, but that's the unweighted GPA. All right, this is considered an unofficial transcript. When we hand you in the office, okay, it says unofficial on it, or it's not signed by our principal, or it's something we just hand you that you hand to somebody else. That's considered unofficial. But what you're ordering through Parchment will be the official transcript that will go out, okay? It'll be signed, and it'll go directly, instead of through your hands, directly to wherever you want us to send it, whether it's a scholarship or a college. All right, so let's try to be connected this year. It's all important time where we communicate with each other, and there's lots of ways to do that. Our counseling website is a major way to get some information you might need and stay connected all year long, because we have our senior memos. Our secretary will work on them about every 6 weeks or so. In there is going to be really important information. For instance, during College App Month, which is October, you might get those free codes in there. So you can actually apply with a code that you don't have to pay the application fee. Okay, so other times there'll be scholarships, eligibility requirements, important dates and deadlines. So those are the things that are going to come to you. So I want you to check your email every day, and I want you to read your senior memos. So those are 2 major ways to stay involved all year long. We have those Wildcat daily announcements. They come out from Parent Square, and sometimes I know it can get lost in the scrolling, but a lot of times we're sending out that important stuff in there too, so check that on a daily basis. We have a video library, tutorials, and all sorts of things to kind of walk you through some important steps, like sending your test scores, applying to college, and requesting your transcripts. Those are just some examples. Another one might be how to rate your SAT and ACT score. Okay, so some important information is there on our website. There's a senior page dedicated just for you guys as well. Okay. All right, let's talk all things work military to and for your college. Destination Military, we have a new staff sergeant, Tyler Cook. He is our recruiter, and we see him a lot. He has already even brought us donuts this year so far. But he's a wonderful way to get involved. He certainly will be in any of our different things where we have college visits, we have military visits, when we do career fairs, college fairs. He's a part of that as well. Okay, our recruiters are there for us as well. And in the spring, we have a wonderful military signing day. Part of the thing that we offer with going into the military is some ASVAB testing. Now, what it doesn't do is it does not sign you up for the military, but it is one way that you can start to prepare. And if you wanted to kind of raise that score, there's some test prep you can go to do that. Okay. We offer spring and fall dates for the ASVAB. Last year I think one got canceled, but we'll work with our partner, which is our Fort Jackson folks, in order to get those things done this year. If you're heading off to work, our career specialist should be your first stop. Okay, they're going to help us with different career fairs. There's high school to hired in May, and all sorts of other really great opportunities with them, with job shadowing, possible internships. All of those things can happen if you're planning for it. Okay, so we do that with our career specialists. There's internships for the second semester. I know it says December 1st deadline, but we want you to kind of get the ball rolling. We can go into December if we have to. But you guys are the ones who are kind of setting that up. You're looking for potential workplaces where you can be a part of their environment, get this experience. I want you to think of 3 things: that it's intentional, meaningful, and it's connected to your career goal. Those 3 things are going to be really important to get the most out of an internship. And then again, our career specialist information. Can't talk enough about that. Destination 2-year college, there's all sorts of 2-year college programs. Sometimes you're going to get your certificates and to get your degree, or maybe it's because it's a transfer program or a career program. In those cases, you might have different deadlines and things that you're going to meet, whereas at a 4-year college, you're going to have a little bit more strict deadlines that are adhered to you. So we want you to get started on this process now. So it's really important. Your commitment to your students on you being here says a lot. All right, let's talk about some testing. We have all sorts of wonderful tests that you can take. I mentioned the ASVAB earlier. That is one thing. It also has a great career portion, so it can help if you're still one of those folks who you're like, I'm just not sure what's going to happen. It's completely fine. Let's get you into doing some of these career assessments so you can narrow down your interests. We have the AccuPlacer coming up. I can't remember the date off the top of my head. But if you're interested, be looking for those announcements coming out, listening to Wildcat TV, because you can sign up to your AccuPlacer. All right, that's a way to do the placement stuff to kind of see where you're at, and then you can get placed correctly at MTC, for example. They'll do placement in other ways, using your AP scores sometimes, and using some other scores we have. They can do that, SAT and ACT sometimes. With 4-year colleges, we often hear the SAT and ACT, but keep in mind, things might be optional for you. We've had students in the past that are not happy with their score, don't want to send it, you don't have to. So you want to make sure you know that college and what they're asking for. Okay, keeping on top of those requirements. All right, like I said, we're going to offer that to you at least twice a year. We try to get you to take 2 dates in the fall, 2 dates in the spring. And if you have a 10th grader, every 10th grader is going to take it this year. Here's a little bit more about the qualifying scores you can use to be placed. So you can see a C or better in a college level dual enrollment course. Sometimes we use those. An AP exam score, SAT score, ACT score, those are the different ways we can make sure that you're placed appropriately. And there's a little bit more. We want you to register. We are going to offer you one free, right? You get to pick an ACT or an SAT. You can certainly have more than that, which that means you're going to have to pay for it, all right? We're not saying you need to do a bunch of them, but there are benefits. When I encourage you to try the SAT, ACT, it's because we want you to get the best chance to get scholarship money later on. So that's really what it's about. May not be for the college entrance because that college may not require it. If you're one of those students, like me, who maybe wasn't happy with their score the first time, you can certainly try again. We also have some test prep for you. We have some students right now who might be in the math, verbal, SAT, ACT prep class that we have at our school. Or they can go online. There's Khan Academy. College Board will have their own personalized test prep for you, which is really neat. So sometimes when you take that test, you get feedback. Okay, they're going to tell you what areas you can work on, and then they're going to target that progress for you right there online so that you can then work on those areas that they've identified. Okay? Research does show that spending 6 hours, not in a row, but 6 hours working on this does raise your score about 50 points or so, which is terrific. SAT, same thing. There is free test prep online, so don't sleep on that. We want you to make your list. I bet you already have. There are internet searches, virtual visits. Now I'm going to call it a college visit, okay? It is certainly a place for you to get out and experience. We're going to give you a excuse absence for that. So you bring us something back, all right, that says the college, maybe even the date. The admissions office might even have something they can give you and hand you to bring back. That will be an excuse absence. It won't count against you. Okay, we want you to get these copies. We actually are having our career specialist plan a college visit, which is terrific. I'm really excited for that. There are virtual career fairs. This is really neat. This website, I checked it out today. These are the different dates they're offering. Sunday, September 14th. That is your virtual career fair date, 1 to 6 p.m., and you can register right there. Then we have an Sunday, October 19th date, and Sunday, November 9th date. Okay, virtual college fairs, if you're interested. You can sign up and register. We are lucky enough to have the Lexington One Consolidated College Career Military Fair coming to us this year. It travels from River Bluff some years to us, and this year it's going to be in our cafeteria, October 30th at 6:30. Okay? It is open to most people in the region, so Great Collegiate, their students, counselors will probably be here as well. All right, so now it's time to talk some applications. We're going to use ACT. A, apply. Your deadlines are real. Keep that in mind, okay? But counselors have some extra time. So I've already got emails from students about, doing some of this stuff. And so the answer is, yeah, we know. We got a deadline for you too. Ours is a little bit after Thursday. So we have time to get your materials in. Apply online. Here are the different ways that you can apply online. The Common App, that's the one we use most often. That's the one I've used for the last 3 years, right? You can go through that Common App and send it to a bunch of different schools at the same time, which is terrific. There's Coalition for College, and then this one, Common Black College Application. Okay, a bunch of different ways for you to reach more than one school. As opposed to the Native application. You're applying to one school, do it right through their website. Coastal, right through their website. Okay, that's kind of your 1 or 2. You're going to apply directly sometimes. All right. Midlands Tech, click apply right there on the spot. College Application Day is something we hold every year, and this year it will be October 1st in our library, and seniors can sign up. That is also a collaborative planning day. So the plan is from 9 to noon. Students can sign up to work on their college applications with representatives right there in the room with them. It may not be your representative, let's say from Wofford or Winthrop, but it will be somebody that can help you. Okay, we have lots of really neat people who come in every year, sometimes even from out of state, Virginia, travel a long place, a long time to get to our school, which is terrific. On that day, we will have some of those application waivers. So we give you the code, you put the code in, and you won't have to pay. So that is a definite benefit of coming to your college application day. Parchment, send your transcript. So these are the materials I was telling you about, okay? We want to make sure that you're getting that in as soon as possible, and we use parchment.com. So as you can see, you're going to have to register online. It's a third-party ordering system, okay? Parchment.com, you're going to create your account. It will be free until you graduate. All right, in your packet, there's that pink sheet that walks you through how to do this. Very important, it never fails that at the end of the year, somebody's going, oh, didn't send my final transcript. Really quickly, order it. It's time to order it through Parchment. Don't use a Lexington One email. You guys probably know this, but we filter things, right? So Parchment can't send you, that senior, your transcripts through that email. Okay, so you need to register and have now a personal email, and you might even want to create one just for the different things you're going to get in colleges and things like that. Might be a good time to create that new email address. One place that you can keep everything. On our website, we also offer this where you can kind of go back. If you lose that pink sheet, oh man, I don't remember how to get on the Parchment. Well, there you go. Okay, that's where you can go right to our transcript section on your counseling website. Sometimes we use pen and paper. It is few and far between. Sometimes Parchment doesn't work. This year, for the first time, NAIA wanted a transcript, and they would not accept the one from Parchment. That was a new experience for me. So yeah, we have to upload that directly to the portal. Okay, so it went from me to them. There was no Parchment in between. All right, so that's few and far between, but that happened this year. We definitely want to make sure that we get those transcripts to those scholarships. A lot of people are looking at that. Okay, important information, they want to see that. So if you are applying for a scholarship in any form, you will most likely need to be submitting a parchment request for your transcript as well to go out. Test scores. So the next part is to send that test score. All right, like I said, it's optional. And we do something called super scoring. Have you all ever heard of super scoring? All right. So if you take multiple tests, you have one in March, let's say, and then one in January. We're going to take the two best scores. So if your math in January was better than the other one, we're going to take that one. And if your English from the opposite test that you took is the best, we're going to put those together and make a super score. Okay? All right, make sure you send your scores. Now, sometimes I get the email, Ms. Calabrese, you just send my score. Well, I might be able to do it. Perfect example, Palmetto Fellows. I can upload scores right there and you don't have to do it, okay? But there are other times I can't. So you will most likely have to send your score, okay? So make sure you have your account ready to go. You can send your scores. All right, some other info. Letters of recommendation are so important. We want you to give your teacher, counselor, some time in order to generate these letters. So please let us know at least 2 weeks in advance so we can prepare this for you. We want to do a good little job for you. You want to make sure that you're letting your references know. Okay? You're asking them for that reference in person. Okay? That's probably the best way to do it. And then you're going to make sure that you have the correct email address. It never fails. Somebody messes up. I have a hard last name, Calabrese. So it never fails. Somebody messes up the email, then I don't get the information. So double check and make sure you have the right email for your reference. We also provide you with a template in order to do that. So I don't know a whole lot about the students that I get to see. They can help me. They can provide me with, this is what I do after school. These are some of the awards that I have earned. So right there in your senior year template, we are going to send you for your IGP is this slide where you get to put all that information in there. You can, anything you want to share, anything that's important to you that is value that stands out, that's something to put on your brag sheet. Okay? And that helps us to know the things that you value and that are important to you. All right, we've kind of talked about the deadlines. You want to make sure you're watching for that. Okay? Any scholarship and college deadlines, those are all really important. Allow at least 7 days to order that transcript and get it out. And when you're on vacation, we're on vacation. So when you break for Thanksgiving, so do we. So it never goes over Thanksgiving. I get the email from the student, I forgot to order my transcripts. So make sure you're putting those requests in. Maybe even set yourself a deadline November 1st. Okay, so you're not in that crunch time. There's a great website that I found today for resources to aid in writing your college essay or personal statement. We've kind of gotten away from this a little bit. I feel like there aren't as many personal statements out there, but I know our English teachers work with you on that, our career specialists work with you on that, and there's great resources out there. So this is a free one that you can check out. All right. For our college athletes, I kind of mentioned before, NCAA, NAIA, you have probably, if you're a senior by now, have already been on the website through the clearinghouse and done everything you need to do. You're probably a pro at it by now. But definitely want to make sure that you're getting your information in there, and do not forget to send your final transcript so that you are clear to play. That's going to be really important for you. I have so many people that are asking about seals of distinction. Are you one of those folks that maybe was thinking about planning a certain, science to make sure you get your honors seal of distinction? They are completely optional, so I want to say that up front. They are also difficult, and I'll tell you that there's over 600, seniors, and we have to verify. And there's about 7 seals, so you can imagine how long it takes. I'm going to share with you some information. School districts will inform the graduates and their families that the seals will be available a few weeks after graduation. So here's what happens usually. You guys get home, got your diploma, and you're like, seals. The State Department actually sends them out, and it can take weeks. So we were hearing, I think in August, people were calling up, never got them. promise they're on the way. But yes, it's something the State Department sends in. So here's your seals of distinction. The honors on the left side, that is the hardest one to meet, but those are all the different requirements. College ready and career ready. We would love you guys to be both. We want you to walk out of here college and career ready to go. We have a military specialization, STEM, arts, and world language. And some of them are easy, right? You have 4 credits in the same world language, you've got your world language specialization. That's just pretty easy for us. The arts one is a little bit harder. Here's a good example. In the arts one, we have to depend a lot on your arts teachers sometimes. And the reason would be because there's some kind of external performance you have to have where you scored, like say in the excellence department, something like that. That might not be something your counselor just knows off the top of their head. So that is something you sometimes have to research, okay? We usually start on these in January because if you can believe it, it does take that long to verify for 600 people. So please, we do our best, but there's always one year where we might make a mistake. But please let us know we'll do the best that we can. Last year I sent it out to the seniors so they could look as well and they can help us. Hey, I think our art seal, I got this score on our external artwork. Or the band competition. We had that excellent score. Great, thank you for helping. So that's something we do beginning in June. Financial aid and scholarships. This is usually when the parents start leaning forward. How are you going to pay for it? Oh. Financial aid versus scholarship. So you should know a couple things. Our financial aid is based on need. And there's an application that this year is supposed to open October 1st. We got it already. We heard that date. But all sorts of financial aid right there. Start with the FAFSA. People sometimes ask me, well, I don't think I'm going to qualify anyway. Why would I bother filling it out? Still fill it out. It is absolutely worth it. Still fill it out. We hear that a lot. Your scholarships at the bottom are awarded on merit, and they can be academic, athletic, based on talent, or any other area. I got a scholarship for being Italian once. Who knew, right? Lots of different scholarships out there. All right, how the financial aid works. There's 3 main types: your grants and scholarships, your loans, and your work study, right? I was one of those people in my 40s paying back my loans. Ooh, I don't recommend it. But I have had some friends who did work studies, and I think I even worked in the business library of one of the colleges. Yeah. So there's definitely other ways that you can work towards your career and education. We have lots of different partners that help us with this. So as you know, you can go to ed.gov, and there's student loans and grants. You can put in your information, see which ones you can apply for. We have other folks. This is the FAFSA information. You get the federal student aid, the application right there, opening October 1st this year. I know it had been delayed many years, right? Last time it opened October 1st was 2022. It's been almost. I think they finally have it open. They're going to beta test it and pilot it October 1st. We have partners that help us, different workshops. So I want to share with you the first one right here, resources. There are fall webinars where you can listen to free information about how to help pay for college. So the first one is September 9th at 7 p.m., September 11th, September 15th, 18th, 23rd, and 25th. And those are webinars you can sign up for and learn more about how to pay for college. The college plan is another great, and he offers a scholarship, which is phenomenal, and he comes to our honors awards nights every year where he is giving out the scholarship on the stage with our seniors, which is fantastic. But this is one other that you can reach out to. And again, they're going to have some different free workshops available for you to kind of walk you through that financial aid process. Another one, the Educational Opportunity Center. So this is through Midlands Tech. You may have heard TRIO, called TRIO before. That's one way. And then, of course, we have a financial aid FAFSA night where MTC comes, their financial aid specialist, Ms. Toya, last year. And so, of course, we'll host one again, and we'll invite them to come. Here comes the scholarships. A lot of your education scholarships. As you can see, there's some qualifying information on the top. That's your residency. On the left side, what you need to qualify for the scholarship the first time. On the right side, it's continued eligibility. So once you get that scholarship when you're in college, you still have to do some things here to keep it. We also have some enhancements. So there's some general, regular types of information like the $2,500 and things like that. And then there's enhancements based on your career areas. So the ones that have been, I guess, prominent the last few years, education, STEM, and then even accounting, which is a surprise. All right, so there's a couple enhancements there that you may qualify for, which then gives you extra money on top of the basic, scholarship that you earn. SC Wins, here's another one. It's a program designed to address the workforce shortages in South Carolina. So this is another good one. Local scholarships. So we actually will keep a drawer of paper scholarships, but you don't necessarily need, pretty much everything is digital now. And so in our senior memos, you're going to get to see all that information. But the best way to handle the scholarship is to have local, institutional, and national kinds of things. You want to be right in the middle of all three of those different areas. So you're covering all your bases. So as you can see, communities, churches, work, and all sorts of things like that. Maybe you're involved in HOSA, and so HOSA may have a scholarship, right? And then, of course, your institution, you might want to contact the financial aid office directly in order to learn more. And then the websites, some of them right here, Micro Scholarships, Raise Me, College Board, bold.org, I think was the one that I really enjoyed, checking out. That was a good scholarship website. And there you go. That's the best place to be, right in the middle. Okay, so you're accessing all those different places, resources. All right, don't get scammed. And, since I was in high school, there have been scams going around. There are some indicators. One is if they ask you to put money up, that's not real. Okay? If they ask for a lot of personal information that might be going a little too far, and I'm not going to lie, we have been in the counseling office and some of these scholarships come through our office, and you kind of have to research that, make sure, and we have done that for students to make sure that this is legit. We don't want to, we don't want you getting scammed either. So it's really exciting that last year we had over $80 million worth of scholarships that have been awarded to our students. So I usually announce this at the end of graduation, but I want to share with you that if you get an award letter, we're going to ask you to submit it to us so that we can be honoring you based on the scholarships you have earned if we put it in our program for graduation. Okay? And that's how we come up with our scholarship total. Some really important dates I want you to remember coming up. We're going to have our senior IGP. Next week, we will start getting those emails out so that after Labor Day, you can sign up for your senior meeting. We want to hold those meetings from September, let's say October 17th, that turn of the quarter, okay? So that's when we want, so don't wait, okay? Get in early so we can meet with you. And then, of course, October 1st, our college application day at Lexington High School in the library. October 17th is another really important deadline. This is when our dual enrollment partners, we have set up this deadline. You need to withdraw by that date, and then you will not suffer any penalty. You will get a WP, okay, on your transcript. However, after that date, then we have to award you a WP, okay? That's a 50 that goes into your GPA, and that's going to hurt you not just for us, okay, but you're trying to apply to other colleges. Now, on the other side of things, on the college transcript, it's just a W, and it does not hurt you moving forward, okay? All right, October 30th is the other date I want you to remember. That's when we have the Lexington One Consolidated Career, College, and Military Fair in our cafeteria at 6:30. So what are the next steps? We're going to walk you through the rest of this year. We're going to start with an IGP meeting. So we're going to send out to your senior a template, slides that they need to fill out. One is going to be the brag sheet. Of course, we want to know a little bit about what their plans are for the future. They're letting us know, 2-year, 4-year college, military, workforce. Those are the types of things we're going to be talking about. We're going to be looking at your transcript and making sure that it's correct. That is your opportunity in that meeting to make sure that we haven't made a mistake. Okay? So we want you to look it over really carefully. All right, they're gonna come to the counseling office with their template filled out, maybe even a computer, and we're gonna meet with you, maybe by Zoom, because it's not called Zoom anymore, by Google Meet. We will meet with you for about 30 minutes, okay? But we'll be sending out a link to our calendar so that you guys can register the time that makes the most sense for you and works for you in your schedule. And if you'd love to come in person, we welcome that too. All right, so I know you may have some questions. I'm going to turn it over to you all. Yes. Yes, anytime you take the test, you get a super score. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether we gave you the test or you're paid for it, but yes, super scoring across all SAT and ACT scores. Yeah. So the seals are something I can also send out to y'all because it is, it's right there on the state website as well. I know this is going to be hard to go over that, but it's somewhere. That's it. All right. Yes, this is on the state website, and I can tell you that there's actually even a thicker page document which really spells out each seal individually. So there's a lot of times when students ask me questions, they're like, I really think I got the honor seal, and I have to go back to that document and say, well, I noticed that 1-year math does not have Algebra 2 as a prerequisite, so you were super close, but you didn't get the honor seal. Okay, so you've got to really read the fine print sometimes. Yeah. Yes?
Is there any advantage to applying directly as opposed to the Common App?
I would say yes in some cases. So if you use the Common App, they're going to try to give you the extended version. So you're going to fill out a lot of information you may not have necessarily had to fill out because they're trying to cover all their bases for every school, what every school needs or asks. So if you just want 1 or 2 schools, it may be better for you just to do the 1 or 2. Yeah, it might be a much shorter application. Oh, good question. Yes, I would. Okay, so when it comes to scholarships, yes, let me repeat it. If you're going to take a gap year, is it still a good opportunity? Should you still fill out the information? And my answer would be yes. So in general, when your scholarships start, it starts when you leave and have graduated and start your first class. Okay? So you want to have that information in there ready to go for you when you start your first class. So that's usually when your scholarship clock starts ticking. So that's a good question. Yeah.
Do the AP exam scores automatically appear on the transcript, or is that something separate?
We do not. Yes, there are no test scores will go on your transcript. That's correct.
So where do we do that?
Give me an example of what you might need them for. Like, we don't usually send them to colleges.
Okay, you just notify the college that your students scored something that we give them.
Yes, for like a placement.
Yes, just get those.
Yes, so I've done that before. Students will reach out to me and say, hey, can you send my, AP scores to Midlands Tech?
Okay.
And so I've done that.
But the class is ready to hear something.
Yes, and your GPA.
Okay.
Yeah, those are 2 really good important information. Yeah, I mean, okay, so in years past, I used to say the SAT was much more of a thought-provoking, like apples are to oranges, is like this to green, red is green, something like that. Now it is much more focused on your knowledge base and not as, let's say, we used to call it an aptitude test, is what you could achieve. Does that make sense? ACT and SAT are now pretty close, and they're pretty strong competitors of each other. ACT has actually changed, so they used to have a science portion. So in the past, when I would meet students, I'd say, if science is a strength of yours, you may want to take the ACT. And that's usually when the students go, oh, no. And I'm like, okay, then you're going to stick with your SAT. It's got your math and it's got your reading and, you're good to go. But that's changing. So ACT, I think, is trying to be a little bit more competitive with the SAT. So now they're going to go a la carte, which means they're not making you take that portion if you don't want it. So really now it's a toss-up. Either one would work.
ACT is, SAT is not.
I believe both are timed. Now, I haven't done it in a while, but I used to give the PSAT and they were both timed.
ACT questions are asked a certain number of minutes per question on the ACT. It's a time test overall, it's not time per question.
I don't think it's per question in the SAT. I think what you're saying is correct. It's like a block of time that you have to finish that math section part 1. And then we start the math section part 2. Yeah, it's been a while since I did PSAT with my 8th graders, but I think that's correct. So what you're saying is the ACT, each question is timed. Okay.
It's like 2 minutes per question on these.
All right.
Yes.
Hey, a few weeks ago, my daughter and I applied to 20 schools in Common App. When it was only less than 20, and every other day we get some more out, maybe after 50. Also, UCLA was a big.
Yeah, so that is a great point. Not every college is going to be on the Common App. So you want to check ahead of time, okay? And you want to maybe apply to that one school because they're not there on the Common App in a different way. And that might be through just their website or however they want you to do it. Great question. I don't know the answer to that. So 20 schools and it charged you a certain fee?
Okay. 20 schools loaded.
Oh, load anymore.
She said my daughter said something for free, which is really clear, but for is that, is there any accommodation by
I don't know, we can check into that one for you. I had not heard that before. Yeah. Yes.
What's the application process for the automatic?
Yeah, so I'm glad you mentioned that. What we end up doing is we send your transcripts at the end of the year to the CHE and the state, and they are able to then, your schools and things access it, and they do it mostly automatically. I say mostly because with Palmetto Fellows, I do need the students to actually initiate an application when I invite them to. But it is a mostly automatic process. Good questions, everybody. Anything else? Well, you have been a wonderful audience, and I hope I did not keep you too long. Yes. Enjoy the baseball game or the football game, wherever you're going. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Drive safe.